Down road as well. One of his simpler one. And I tell you what, the grandchildren won't know when he tells them he scored a hat-trick that he only had to catch it and dive over.
Well, you've got to have a bit of poetic license, haven't you? Keith Wood, he's been with Gary Owen for a while, since he returned from Harlequins to prepare for this World Cup, and his preparation has paid off. He's really been hunting throughout this match, and it's paid off. So Eric Elwood for the extra 2 points. A superb performance by Eric Elwood. A beautiful kick there.
Well, I wonder if Ladbrokes will be winding the odds in on Wood. They no doubt have odds for the highest try scorer in the World Cup. After the first round, I have no doubt he'll be leading it.
Now, I haven't taken a big look at what happened when the Fijians put a big score up on the board the other day. But I just wonder now whether Keith Wood is the tournament's top scorer. I
think he
suspect
could well be. I don't think anyone would have got 4. And not about up and under to boot.
I think he fancies his chances now at number 10, doesn't he? He came crunching in to Maunga there.
Now he'll get up and go for a quick tap, probably.
Well, it's the scrum half. Tierney takes 5 metres out of the Americans, but they weren't 10 metres back. And that's a rule that I think should go into soccer. I've got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about that one, but that's a different story. But if you're not 10 metres back when the penalty is taken, well, the referee has the discretion to take it 10 metres further. Elwood punches it down into the American 22. And certainly the Irish have come to life in this last 10 minutes or so. But equally, the United States are falling apart.
Yeah, they're really falling off tackles now. This will be a good finish for Ireland. If they can perform in this last 10 minutes, they can go into their next match with plenty of confidence. Certainly a very athletic performance from the Irish.
5 minutes to go. The Irish on the attack once again. That was Jonathan Bell. Superb player. He's come on as a substitute.
Yeah, there's numbers.
Elwood.
Look who's on the right.
Over the top. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Oh, my goodness. Lansdowne Road. It's liftoff. Keith Wood has scored 4 tries, and I don't believe it. I just wonder if that is some sort of record.
I'd say it's definitely a record for a number 2. The crowd is going berserk. He's a local hero. There were contractual problems a couple of years ago to get him back from Harlequins. He's back home in preparation for the World Cup. And look who happens to be on the right wing, chasing the little chip kick. That man.
I think the way he's probably feeling at the moment, you could put him in any position on the park and he'd play brilliantly.
And they've taken him off, I think. Yes, they've taken him off. Catlin said enough is enough. This is getting beyond a joke.
Well, we mustn't forget that it wasn't a brilliant first half from Ireland. It was scrappy in parts. But they've satisfied the requirement of putting 3 points in the league table, and that's going to be very important. And the more points they can get, if it ever did come down to points difference in terms of the playoff situation later on in this World Cup, well, they've done a pretty good job. Now, can Eric Elwood make it 3 out of 3 since he came on as substitute? Yes, he can. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Great kicking, though, nonetheless, in the wind from the sideline.
Well, let's just have a look at this again. Elwood, the master of the chip. And the hooker, if it's not a world record, it doesn't matter. It is one of the greatest try-scoring performances ever by a number 2. So here go Ireland once again, trying to clean it up and send their attack on the way. Eric Miller, the British Lion, the back row forward. And they really are trying to push the Irish now to get even more points on the board.
Good play.
Oh, Elwood's playing like a basketball player here, a playmaker, trying to control things from the midfield. The boot of Conor O'Shea comes into play this time, and his opposite number, Kurt Schumann, has to come back. In support is Anatoni, who's been very quiet on this match, but he hasn't had any quality ball to deal with. O'Shea once again dragged down onto the floor there by Luke Gross, one of the biggest men on the field, or the biggest man at 6'9". confidence from the Irish now, but it is picked up by Anatoni, who tries to spread it wide, and this is dangerous for the USA. Anatoni goes chasing back, but he's under pressure from Justin Bishop. Bishop it was who scored Ireland's first try, but going over the top there. And so the United States can just rest a little. They're going to lose this game as we come towards the last minute of normal time in Ireland's opening game in the Rugby World Cup. There is a place in the playoffs for the best third place team, isn't there? And so these sort of scorelines will not do the United States bid to make any further progress after the pool games are finished any good at all. But they really are hanging on by the skin of their teeth now. And I suppose the big story tomorrow is going to be about Keith Wood, but there's got to be some analysis as well as to the way the Irish have approached this game.
Yeah, no, look, I think up front they've been very committed and very mobile, and they've competed very well at the line-out. Their scrum's been strong. I mean, it's not a bad all-round performance. It's a game we just come back to breakdown of execution, too many errors. You make those sort of errors against teams like New Zealand, Australia and England, and they'll punish you.
Well, a reminder that tomorrow Australia start their campaign to see if they can repeat what they did in 1991 under the guidance of Nick Farr-Jones. And Australia take on Romania. Oh, there's a fight breaking out, and I don't think Justin Fitzpatrick wants to get tied up with that fella. Luke Gross towers above everybody else on this pitch. And we're only seconds away from the final whistle, so really we've got to forget about that sort of thing.
You know, it's disappointing right at the death. They've been spirited, the United States. Easily outplayed.
Now, Ed Morrison, the line judge, is coming across here. He's had his flag up for some time, I reckon about a minute on this side. He obviously saw something happening when play was on this side of the pitch, next to the main grandstand.
You were both touch judges on. Was that situation there, the clean out from Luke Gross?
Oh, my goodness. It was Luke Gross getting stuck in against Paddy Johns, and then he tries his arm against Justin Fitzpatrick. So I think it is Luke Gross. Deanna Quinnigan on the left-hand side. That's Paddy Johns too.
Disappointing the match has finished this way. Actually interesting having dinner with one of the local Irishmen last night, Paul. He was indicating that what happened at the Ryder Cup, just that lack of sportsmanship from the United States, or at least the States fans, may have culminated in a little bit of booing here. But generally speaking, I think they've been well received, the USA players. Just a bit disappointing here, though, at the end, that this brawl erupted and the United States have been penalised.
Well,
Joel caught one. Maybe a touch judge will come on, and was it Luke Gross again? At least the Frenchman's found a little bit of amusement in that.
Do you know what? I think word has got round Dublin that there is something happening here at Lansdowne Road. I'm convinced
the crowd's bigger.
There's a lot more people in this stadium during the second half, and they're certainly making their feelings heard far and wide about what's going on here. But just to remind everybody that Ireland are leading the United States by 53 points to 8, and 4 tries, can you believe it, from the Irish hooker Keith Wood. Meanwhile, O'Driscoll, one of the big future names of Irish rugby, he's got a try in this game, his first ever in the emerald green for Ireland.
He's got some gas too. He has got some tremendous gas. You haven't seen that sort of speed in midfield in Ireland for quite some time. Just that initial acceleration that got him right round the back then. But I think partly the increasing crowd is also due, Paul, to the fact that people can't leave a half empty or a half full pint of Guinness, and they probably finish them before arriving for kickoff.
Absolutely right. Oh, bit of a mistake there by Jonathan Bell. The seconds ticking away, 43 minutes on the clock. We've played 3 minutes of stoppage time already. Dalzell tries to go around the far side. Any minute now, I'm sure the referee will blow the whistle. And let's look forward, Nick, to what is going to happen here a week on Sunday And that, of course, is the clash between Australia and Ireland. There's a fair way to go yet in terms of Ireland's preparation for that. And as I was saying, Australia playing against Romania tomorrow. But the Irish-Australian clash is going to be great, isn't it?
It's going to be one of the great clashes. I mean, it always has been Australia versus Ireland here. All the Irish, of course, remember the quarter-final here, the one that just got away. So I think we're in for some wonderful rugby in these early pool matches.
Well, Quinnigan attacks again, as does Tierney, pops one over the top. And the mark given there to Kurt Schumann. And that match, of course, Ireland-Australia in Dublin next week. You can see on Eurosport and British Eurosport, and it really will be the highlight of Group E. And there it is, full time here at Lansdowne Road. Keith Wood, I suppose the hero of the last hour and a half, on the substitutes bench towards the end of this match. But 4 tries, absolutely magnificent for Ireland. Ireland beating the United States of America 53 points to 8. And Lansdowne Road invaded by the faithful Irish supporters, and all the headlines will be about this man tomorrow. Still, the finishing touches to put to the tactics of the Irish before they take on the Australians, the former world champions. But they've acquitted themselves well here today. Good tries by Justin Bishop, Brian O'Driscoll, and of course Keith Wood. And Scotland, South Africa tomorrow on Eurosport. That is going to be a huge clash, isn't it? And that's 7:45 for Australia, Romania, Central European time. The first time we'll have seen the Australians in this World Cup. So, Nick, mixed fortunes for the Irish, but not a bad start.
Yeah, not a bad start at all. And fortunately for Gatlin, he's got some things to focus on. They've got quite a bit of execution that they've got to improve on.